Chosen one. A change was just announced. You should hear this. Something in the unseen has shifted. Something that was not visible to the eye, but was always in motion behind the veil of your everyday life. A divine announcement has just been made, one that directly concerns you. It is not a message for the world, nor a general word for the masses. This is a targeted, supernatural update with your name spiritually etched on it. You've been asking for clarity, for direction, for answers, and now a change has officially been declared in the heavens. And whether you feel it yet or not, this change is going to impact you in powerful ways. As you listen to this message, stay with it until the very end. Let this message activate something deep inside you. Let it stir your spirit. Let it confirm what your heart has been whispering all along. And write your warmest wishes and 777 in the comments. This isn't just interaction. It's an energetic declaration that you're aligned, you're ready, and you are declaring to the universe, let it be so. Because this is a chapter where wishes are no longer distant ideas. They are touching down. They are manifesting. You are energizing the very universe with your agreement. Now, chosen one, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. Chosen one, you might have felt like something was building, like a pressure in the air, like a spiritual alert going off without language. That feeling wasn't wrong. It was God preparing your soul for what was already being decided. The change that was announced was not random. It was ordained. It was determined before the foundation of your recent struggle. Before you cried your latest tear, before you even knew you'd need a shift, the blueprint of change had already been drafted. This announcement is not something the world will broadcast for you. You won't see it trending. You won't hear it in the news, but your spirit already knows it's real. This change is internal before it becomes external. It's a correction of alignment, a reordering of what has felt chaotic, a repositioning of you in the timeline of divine manifestation. You are being upgraded in silence, promoted in the unseen. And when the evidence begins to flood your life, those who doubted you will be stunned. It's not just a change in circumstance, it's a change in how heaven is moving around you. Things that were once blocked are now scheduled to be opened. Opportunities that were delayed are now marked as urgent. People who were blind to your light are about to see you in ways that shock them. It's not because you've suddenly become more worthy. It's because the season has changed. And when the season changes, everything that is tied to your timeline must respond. You've been through the hidden battle, the one no one could see, the one that tried to convince you that nothing would ever shift, that maybe this was your fate forever, stuck, stagnant, struggling. But let me speak this into you boldly. You were never forgotten. The delay was not denial. The silence was not rejection. It was preparation. You were not ready before. You were not fully formed before. But now, the divine announcement has gone out. You are ready for the shift. And everything that was once standing still is under divine instruction to move. This change is personal. It won't look like what happened to others. It won't follow the same blueprint you've seen before. It's not a recycled miracle. It's a custom-designed realignment of your life, your path, your call. That's why it may feel unfamiliar. That's why it may even feel uncomfortable at first. Because heaven is not using old structures to bring you into new power. This announcement has torn the veil off a new version of your destiny. One that was always waiting for the appointed moment. And that moment is now. Chosen one, things around you may still look the same right now, but the most profound changes begin invisibly. You don't have to wait for a physical sign to believe what your spirit is already shouting. When the divine shift is announced, the atmosphere around you begins to recalibrate. Conversations start to open in your favor. Invisible hands start moving the pieces into position. Timelines begin to collapse into alignment. What should have taken years is now happening quickly. Because when God announces change, delay is no longer permitted to dominate your life. You've been prepared in private for this public realignment. What felt like a wilderness was actually a refining process. The silence trained your discernment. The waiting taught you patience and trust. The resistance taught you resilience. And now, everything you went through is about to make sense. Not because someone explains it to you, but because the results will be undeniable. A change was just announced, and you are the subject of it. You may not feel ready. You may still have doubts, but that's why this announcement was made before the evidence. So that you would learn to walk by spirit, not sight. So that you would know how to recognize movement even in moments that appear still. So that your faith would not depend on facts, but on the frequency of heaven's whisper. Because only the chosen ones are trained to recognize the sound of a supernatural shift. Don't be surprised if you start feeling unsettled in familiar places. Don't be alarmed if people around you start falling away. This change is not just about increase, it's about divine subtraction too. Some things must be removed for the new to have room to grow. Some rooms can't contain the power you're stepping into. And some connections must be cut so that you don't carry old battles into your new victory. There is something uniquely powerful about this moment in your life. It carries a weight that you've never experienced before, a seriousness, a gravity. Because this isn't just another turn in the road, this is a fork, a divine intersection. One path leads back into delay and comfort, the other leads into expansion and destiny, and the announcement is heaven's way of signaling. It's time to move. It's time to rise. It's time to claim what was always meant for you. You're not walking into this change by accident. You were chosen for this, built for this. And now, your inner strength will finally meet its purpose. You won't have to chase anything. What's aligned with this change will find you. The doors are already unlocking. The invitations are already being written. The calls are being made in boardrooms you've never even entered. Your name is in the room before your feet arrive. That's what divine announcement does. It puts you on the radar of miracles. You've gone unnoticed long enough. You've been overlooked long enough. Now the light is turning. Now the timing is unfolding. And no one, no system, no delay, no human limitation can stop the momentum that's been divinely initiated on your behalf. The announcement has already been made. You may be wondering, what exactly is this change? How do I know it's for me? Let your spirit answer that. There are certain truths that don't come through logic. They come through deep spiritual knowing. This is one of those moments. When a divine shift is announced, it echoes through your soul before it ever touches the surface of your reality. If you've been feeling a strange pressure, a spiritual restlessness, or even a quiet excitement that you can't quite explain, you are already sensing it. This change has nothing to do with what others think of you. It's not tied to outside validation. It's not something that needs permission from people who don't understand the weight of your journey. This is between you and God. This is a heavenly decision made on your behalf. You didn't have to beg for it. You didn't have to force it. It came because your alignment demanded it. Because your calling is too important to be delayed any longer. Because heaven has determined it's time. This is not a coincidence. And you, chosen one, are not here by accident. You were guided to this message because the divine timing of your life is now intersecting with the manifestation of long-held promises. You may not have seen it coming, but heaven did. You may have given up on the possibility of change, but change never gave up on you. And now, that change is becoming your new atmosphere. Let's be clear. This change won't look the same for everyone. For some, it will be a career shift. For others, it will be relocation, relationship realignment, or sudden financial abundance. For many, it will be the activation of a long-dormant gift, something you've carried inside you that's been waiting for the right season to bloom. Don't limit how God brings it. Just trust that it is coming. Trust that it has already been spoken in the heavens. Trust that your life has been selected for renewal, restoration, and revelation. You are not being thrown into chaos. You are being drawn into clarity. You are not being destabilized. You are being unrooted from what was too small for you. Sometimes the old has to collapse for the new to take shape. Sometimes the container has to break for the oil to flow. And this, chosen one, is your oil flow moment. A divine anointing is being poured over your situation. A shift is being commanded into existence, and every stubborn wall is losing its grip. This announcement also brings with it a new level of responsibility. Don't be surprised if your discernment sharpens, if your sleep patterns change, if your sensitivity to people's energy increases. When a divine change is in motion, your spirit becomes alert. You're being equipped to navigate your new season. You're being stretched so you can carry what's coming. You're being recalibrated to handle what your former self couldn't carry. That's how you'll know this isn't just wishful thinking. This is a divine promotion. And don't be discouraged if it doesn't all unfold at once. Divine change is rarely delivered in a straight line. Sometimes it will feel like one door opens while another closes. Sometimes it will come wrapped in endings that you didn't expect. Trust the process. Trust the divine intelligence behind the shift. Nothing is being removed unless it was interfering with the expansion of your soul. Every detour is divine. Every redirection is a revelation in disguise. You are going to start noticing signs. Conversations will start to echo your inner truth. You will overhear confirmations that speak directly to your soul. You will see numbers, patterns, symbols, divine codes reminding you that this moment is not ordinary. You're not imagining it. You're not reading too much into it. You're aligned with a frequency that only those spiritually awake can sense. That's how the announcement reaches you. It bypasses noise and speaks directly to your destiny. Be mindful of what you entertain right now. Not everything deserves your attention. Not everyone should have access to you during this transitional phase. Guard your energy. Protect your momentum. Because distractions are most dangerous when destiny is about to unfold. The enemy of your soul would love nothing more than to pull you back into doubt, into drama, into delay. But you're too close now. You've come too far. This announcement didn't come to tease you. It came to transform you. Something new is birthing in your life. And with any birth, there is tension. There is pressure. But there is also the promise. You're stepping into a version of yourself that is braver, wiser, more refined. One who doesn't beg for approval. One who doesn't shrink to fit in. One who walks with the authority of someone who knows they've been called, chosen, and appointed for this hour. Don't underestimate the reach of this change. It's not just about your personal gain. It's about divine positioning. Your elevation is going to impact more than just your life. It's going to unlock doors for others. Your story is going to become a signpost for those who are still stuck in confusion. The way God transforms you is going to be a blueprint of hope for those watching you. That's why this change had to come with confirmation. That's why heaven had to announce it first, so you'd have the courage to believe before you saw the results. It's already in motion, even if you can't see it yet. Behind the scenes, there are people discussing your name for the right reasons. There are plans being made that you haven't been invited into yet, but they're for you. Divine strategy is unfolding around you like a chessboard, and every piece is moving for your good. Because when the announcement is made, the atmosphere responds in favor of the one it was made for. There's a weight to this moment, a gravity, and that weight is holy. It's a signal that what's coming is bigger than anything you've experienced before. That's why the past season was so intense. That's why the warfare increased. That's why things suddenly felt harder. Because opposition always increases before breakthrough. But now, the breakthrough has been authorized. Stand in your knowing. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to perform for favor. This shift is not performance-based. It's alignment-based. It's the reward for the inner work, the prayers whispered through tears, the integrity you kept when no one was watching. Heaven saw it all. And now, heaven is responding. You may not have been there when the announcement was made in the Spirit. You may not have seen the scrolls unroll or heard the divine decree, but trust this: your soul heard it. Your destiny heard it. That's why your restlessness increased. That's why your awareness began to shift. That's why you suddenly started feeling like something is about to happen, even when everything around you remained still. When God speaks, creation responds. And when a change is announced for a chosen one, the spiritual ecosystem around them begins to rearrange. You're not just feeling emotions, you're picking up the tremors of transition. You're sensing the restructuring of unseen realities. You're feeling the call to move differently, think differently, believe differently. Because your season is shifting, and everything connected to you is being called to elevate. Chosen one, hear this deeply. Some people won't understand what's happening to you. They will say you've changed, and they're right. But not in the way they think. You're not becoming someone new. You're becoming more of who you were always meant to be. The divine announcement is not making you into something artificial. It's unlocking your original design. The version of you that was hidden beneath trauma, beneath delay, beneath fear. It's rising. And yes, it will feel unfamiliar. You may even find yourself mourning old parts of your identity. That's normal. Don't resist it. Transformation requires release. You're not being punished. You're being purified. You're not being torn down. You're being realigned. There is a wisdom emerging from your core, a clarity you didn't have before. You're no longer asking the same questions. You're no longer tolerating the same confusion. This is evidence of the change at work within you. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to live a life dictated by the expectations of others. You were called to stand out, to rise above, to walk in divine distinction. And now, the announcement has reactivated your authority. You may feel like you're walking into the unknown, but the unknown is just unfamiliar territory to your mind. Your spirit already knows the way. Follow it. Trust it. From this point on, you'll notice that certain things won't fit anymore. Conversations that once excited you may now feel draining. Habits that once gave you comfort may now feel restrictive. Don't force yourself to stay where your spirit has outgrown. The announcement didn't just change your path, it upgraded your frequency. and what no longer matches that frequency must fall away. Even your prayer life is changing. You're no longer begging, you're declaring. You're no longer pleading, you're partnering. You're starting to understand that you're not just a servant of destiny, you're a co-creator in it. You're not waiting for life to happen to you anymore. You're walking in bold alignment with what has been revealed to you. That's what happens when the announcement is truly received. And if you're wondering, what if I miss it? Rest assured, you can't. What's for you will not pass you by. The announcement was not just a moment, it was a shift in timing. It synchronized you with what's been waiting. You're being drawn magnetically toward what is already yours. That business idea, that open door, that financial shift, that divine relationship, it's not something you have to chase. It's something you're aligned with now. Let the old stories go. Let the false narratives fall away. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not cursed. You are chosen. And because you are chosen, you are protected. You are guided. You are instructed. And now you are being upgraded. This announcement is not just about spiritual insight, it's about supernatural evidence. The inner knowing will become outer confirmation. You will begin to walk into rooms that once seemed impossible. You will receive calls, emails, opportunities that reflect the new favor over your life. You'll wonder, how did they find me? And the answer will be simple. The announcement went out. Heaven called your name. And the physical realm is catching up to what the spirit already knows. Pay attention to the timing of this. You were led to this very message at the exact moment something shifted in your favor. That's not coincidence. That's divine choreography.